Buongiorno, buonasera, benvenuti amici. Welcome, my friends. My name is Vincenzo, and welcome to my channel. And the channel is Fountain Pen Therapy. It's Asvine time, folks. I guess this is really the first offering for 2026, unless I'm mistaken, from Asvine. And I must say, I have mixed feelings about this pen. As I'm doing this review, I'm still not quite convinced. But you know what? I'm going to take myself through the review and do what I always do in terms of analyze the pen as we go along. And hopefully by the time we get to the writing sample, I will have made up my mind. I know it's a funny way to do a review. You should make up your mind before you do it. But I haven't been able to do so. So I'm going to give it one last go. And I'm going to evaluate this pen at the same time as you are through the visual graphics that I will show you. And we'll take it from there. Okay? So without any further ado, Fountain Pen Therapy presents the Asvine J16, but this time in the Ebonite finish. Okay, so we're back with the pen. Standard Asvine box, nothing new there. I don't know, folks. You know, a remake of the J16. I've been expecting so much from Asvine, given what they did in 2025. You would have thought they would have kind of entered 2026 with a little more pizzazz or a little more splash. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love that original J16, but as I mentioned in the intro, I'm not quite convinced about this one. So it comes in that regular Asvine box. Very nice of them to include the wrench, and as often reviewers say, Leonardo should pay attention. It's just completely unfair that you spend hundreds of dollars for an overpriced pen and they don't even give you the little tool. I think that's really, really cheap on their part. But having said that, that's another matter for another day. So that's the box. And this is the pen. It's Ebonite. Now, I'm not an expert of Ebonite. Is this the best quality Ebonite that exists? I'm not sure. This pen doesn't give me any wow, you know what I'm saying? It just doesn't give me wow. Now, having said that, all of the trimmings appear to be well integrated. The clip is functional but stiff. You can see the finials, very ordinary looking pen, kind of a Mont Blanc 146, maybe a little bit bigger than a 146. Nice center band with the Asvine J16 written on it. So we've got that. Just one second. Let me just see here. Okay, here we go. now I think we can take a better look at that Ebonite. I must say the finish is very nice. It's a smooth finish. It's not matte. It gives you kind of there's a shine there. It's called glacial runoff, so you can see where that comes from. Okay, I guess each pen is different. That's it. And we'll compare it in a second. When you compare it to the C2000, that's where you start to have little doubts. But having said that, let's see how many turns. 1 turn, 1 1/4, 1 1/2. So 1 1/2 turns. It reveals the Yowo nib. So it comes with a Yowo nib. There again, I would have wanted them to, just develop their own nibs and keep working their own nibs. We've seen Yovo charge you a premium for it, and I'm not sure it's really worth it. There's not even any branding on that Yowo nib, which again is a disappointment. The threads here are fairly smooth. The ink window for some reason is dark. I guess, one could argue that it blends better, but yeah, I'm having difficulty seeing, the ink. I've got to put it towards the light. And so what's the point of having it when you can't even see it? It is a piston filler. It's not filled, so we can turn it. It's smooth, fairly smooth. There you go. Nice. The integration here, there's a step here. It's a little, but it's fine. It's got a little bit of a flare. It's comfortable in the hand. The threading is noticeable but smooth. Nothing that you can't live with. The posting, I guess the posting is okay. Let me just measure it. Just below. I'm not sure if it activates that. I think it does. You can't see the piston, so I'm not sure. No, it doesn't activate it. Otherwise, I would see it open up. It doesn't. So I think we're okay for the posting. And if you post it, you got to push it in a little bit, but it posts fine. The pen is fairly light, so it doesn't pose a problem in terms of equilibrium and balance. Well balanced, even posted. So it's a good news that it's postable. You can post it. There you have it. Now, what else do I want to look at? Let's look at inside. It's got a kind of a plastic sleeve, and it's got a step there that would facilitate the seal. Okay, so we're talking about Ebonite going into a plastic sleeve for the threading. Fairly smooth, I would say to you. So the pen, at the end of the day, notwithstanding just this feeling of mine, is a well-built pen. I can't say otherwise. Now let's compare it. I want to compare it to two pens more closely. We can do a normal measurement pen and size comparison in a second, but okay. This is the Asvine Titanium. That Asvine Titanium, what kind of an interior did it have? Yeah, it had the same kind of plastic sleeve, I would say to you. Is it? Yeah, plastic's the same kind of story, I would say. The same type of threading. In fact, I think that probably one fits into the other, I would imagine. Yeah, this fits in nicely. A little bit loose, though. Looser than the Ebonite one. What about this one? No. What am I doing? Here we go. Does this fit in here? Yes, it does. It has some difficulty getting in there. It's not the same, not perfect, and it's not meant to be perfect, I guess. So there you have it. Very nice. I prefer this one. This gives me so much more. I mean, even in the hand, it I think they did not make a mistake when they chose this titanium finish. And I'm not sure that this is an electrifying, writing instrument, especially when I compare it to the Asvine C1000. The Ebonite on this pen is so much more complex, I guess would be the word. Maybe it's just because it's bigger. But I just get the sense that I'm just getting so much more with this. And, physically I am. It's a bigger pen. Maybe it's just the choice of colors. Now, I did order, that's the other thing that bothers me. I don't know if you saw my recap, but I had originally put this on pre-order. I was probably one of the first to order this pen. And all of a sudden, I started seeing people reviewing, and it was available on Asvine, on Amazon. A couple of days, you can get it. I said, this is ridiculous. Here I am. It's been a month and a half I've ordered it, and I'm not getting it. And everybody can order it now on Amazon. 2 or 3 days, they get it. And then another reviewer mentioned that if you ordered the pen with a flex Yowo nib, then that delivery is delayed. And that's what I did. I had ordered, I think, the green version of that Ebonite, and with the flex, because I'm just bored of Yowo nibs. I thought I'd at least get a flex that gives me a little better writing experience. And of course, it hasn't arrived yet. But when these went on sale at Amazon, I picked one up, and within 2 or 3 days, it was at my doorstep. So there you have it. I paid a premium for it, but I got it quicker, just so that my viewers could see it as quickly as possible before they run out. So there you have the major comparisons. We'll do some writing sampling later on with these pens. So that's essentially the pen. Let's do some more comparison. Okay, we're back with our comparison. Let me just grab something so that I can point. Okay, we'll take this folded nib. This will do. This is the Vizier Meteor. That's the Asvine J16 in titanium. That's the 126 from Asvine. Is there major differences? This is a beautiful pen. This is the Majon P136 in titanium subject pen, the Asvine C2000, a wonderful, wonderful pen. And the other Asvine C36. And this is so affordable when you compare it to this Ebonite. And I'm not sure that this pen is worth the price. I think I paid it like $120 Canadian, or $112, I think it is. I'll put the exact price on the screen. I'm not sure it's worth that, frankly. And I don't know, for 2026, first pen, I was expecting a lot more. Maybe I'm being a little too greedy here, but so far it hasn't convinced me as being a great number one pen for 2026. I certainly prefer this titanium much more than this titanium version, than this Ebonite version. So there you have the pens capped. Okay, so here are the pens uncapped and unposted. Here is the subject pen. So you can see it's one of the bigger ones when you compare all the number 6 size nibs. Of course, the two number 8 size nibs the pens are bigger pens. But, I wish that Asvine could kind of take this nib, number 8 size, with all the springiness it has, and kind of redo their number 6 nib with the same bounce and the same quality, and forget about including Yowo nibs in their pens. Just forget about it. You're in the right direction. Don't go backwards. So maybe that's what's rubbing me wrong. And not even to put at least some branding on it. I know it's extra cost, but I mean, they're making us pay for this pen. So again, mixed feelings. But there you have the pens uncapped and unposted. here are the pens posted. You can see that it's a nice size posted, much bigger than the Majon, the 126, and even the no, it's about equal to the Vizier, and of course slightly smaller than the two number 8 size nibbed pens, which is to be expected. But there you have the comparison of the pens posted. What we'll do is we'll look at some measurements, and I'm going to post measurements comparing both the Ebonite version and the titanium version, and you'll see they're exactly the same size, save and except for the weight. So there you have it. We'll be right back after that with the writing sample. We're back with the writing samples. First of all, the ink. I've chosen this Hongdian ink, which is the blackish green. I love these inks. I reviewed all of them, by the way. If you're interested, just look up Hongdian inks on my channel listing, and you'll see they're there. I've reviewed all of them, the entire set. Here's just a swatch of the blackish green. It's this one here. So I think it's going to be a pretty good fit. There's some blue and some green there. So we've taken blackish green as the ink. What we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to do a writing sample of just this pen and go through with all the specs and my feelings about it, likes and dislikes, and then we'll compare. We'll do some writing with other pens and compare and see where it stands. Okay, so let's start the writing sample. So this is the Asvine J16 Ebonite. And they call it the glacial runoff in terms of color. And so there you have it. The nib is a Yowo number 6 steel, and it's a broad nib. The ink is Hongdian blackish green. Okay, the paper is Wonderland 222 Tomo River paper, but it's the number 9 machine, not the original number 7 machine. As I've learned, there is a difference, but it's still very nice. It's a very nice alternative. And stay tuned, by the way, on my channel. On the weekly recaps, we're reviewing all kinds of alternatives for Tomo River paper, because I want come to some decision in due course as to which is the best alternative, and we're going through the exercise week by week. Okay, so let's look at this pen. In terms of smoothness, it's very smooth. It's a broad, so very, very smooth. Very good. Wetness, extremely wet. So the flow is very, very nice, very wet. As to be expected when you have a broad, lots of wetness there. In terms of bounce, no bounce, none. There's a little scratchy right there. Well, we'll get to it in a second. None. It's fairly stiff. Now, constant or consistency, just there is a scratchy right there. But otherwise fairly, yeah, right there is a little scratchy. You know what? We're going to pass a little bit of mesh there and we'll fix that. But it doesn't prevent, as you can see, the pen is writing really, really nicely, I must say. Reverse writing. Yeah, and some of you will say, of course, it's a Yowo nib, Vincent. You cannot crap all over it. Reverse writing, not bad, actually. I'm bored with it, that's all. It's not bad, but it's not ideal. Okay? Likes and dislikes. The nib, not because it doesn't work properly, I just bored. The price, I think it's overpriced. And so that we get the price here. Wow, I just realized. This pen that I got quicker cost me $109. And the other Canadian, and the other pen that I pre-ordered, and you would think if you pre-order it would cost you less, it's cost me $119. So because of that nib, I'm not sure. But $119, no sir, no sir. Likes, it's Asvine quality. The Ebonite is inferior to the C2000 for some reason. I just wish it had a little more depth, but maybe it's just me. I don't know how to explain it. It's a déjà vu, and it's less than the titanium. I think the titanium, they should have stopped there. You know what I'm saying? And I don't see why the purpose of this pen, frankly. I really don't. Yes, it's lighter. Is it cheaper? Perhaps. I forget what the J16 cost me at the time. Actually, give me a second. I'll let you know right away. Actually, the titanium is now selling for $89. I'm not sure. I can't find how much I paid for it at the time. Prime Canadian, $89.99, so $90, and you'll get it in 1 day. Delivery, next day. Personally, I would get the titanium. No hesitation. So that's essentially it. Is it a go-to pen in terms of every day? Yes. I would say to you with this nib, 10 on 10 for a go-to pen. In other words, it's a pen that I would not hesitate to bring to work or use on a daily basis. I can see this being a workhorse, not a problem. So there you have it. Would I recommend it? You know, it's a good pen, but if I had to choose, I would go for the titanium and save $20 or even, almost $30. That's my verdict. In fact, speaking of the devil, let's do some comparisons. Here's the Asvine titanium, and it's not heavy like a metal pen where you're looking at too heavy. No, it's fairly light. So Asvine J16 titanium. Okay, and it's got a Yowo broad as well. By the way, it has the same issue here. No, it doesn't. Wait a minute, I felt it earlier. No, it doesn't. Oh, this one has the issue right here on the other side. Just a little scratchy, but it writes fairly the same. Now, is it, I'm not sure this will write, but is it any different than this one, for example? This one's got an Asvine medium nib. That's the vacuum flitter. This is the Asvine V126. This has the medium nib. A little dry on me. I haven't written with this in a while. So I explain some of the skips there. It's a little bit bigger than this one. I must say, this is much thinner. And frankly, I prefer the size of the J16. Let's compare it to, this is one of my favorite pens, so this is unfair. Does it write? I'm not sure it has any ink. Let's just see here. This is, yeah, look at this. Majon P136 titanium. This has got the lemon hand polished medium nib, which is so smooth. I mean, and much cheaper than Bach. And because of that Waverly tip, if you will, or that kind of there, right there, you see it? It's just so smooth, and it gives you a very different writing experience. Does it have bounce? Not really, but more anyway, more than Yowo, that's for sure. So, if I have to choose, I'd get this one. I'd get this Majon titanium for sure. And look at the trimming. Very nice. You can compare it to the J16, is a little bit bigger. So it kind of, if you want to go in between, this is more akin to the 146. This one's a little bit bigger, I would say to you. Yeah, it is definitely a little bit bigger. So, and if you're going to get an Asvine and, you can only spend your money on one, I would go with this one. This is the Asvine. Oh, it's got no ink. No, this is not the Asvine. Actually, this is the Vizier, and it's got no ink, I think. Yeah, it's got no ink. So, should have inked it. In fact, if you give me a second, we'll ink it. Beauty of technology. You don't have to wait. Here it is. This is the Vizier Meteor. It too has a Yowo nib, except this is a Yowo medium. Yeah, so I just checked. This Vizier acetate cellulose, or cellulose acetate pen. So the materials is superior, I think, to that Ebonite. I would go with this one. It's $125 US. It's a little more expensive, but it gives you, a completely different writing experience. You got the same Yowo nib, mind you, but it's bigger. It's nicer materials, in my view. Little simpler in terms of design, but I would prefer this Vizier. And it gives you something different, if you will, okay? There is, if you really want a nice pen, I would certainly opt for this C80. I said C36 earlier, that's wrong. So this is the Asvine C80, which, with that number 8 bouncy nib, and it's going, for $42, $43 these days? So almost a quarter of the price, or a third of the price. I would definitely go with this. I mean, there's no comparison. Okay, there is absolutely no comparison. I mean, when you go on AliExpress or on Amazon, you can actually buy the Asvine V800, that vacuum filler, with that beautiful number 8 size nib, with some very interesting resins, for $66, $67, almost half the price of this J16. I think it's a ripoff. I think that Asvine is taking advantage. It's a pen they've already done. So I don't know. Technically, all the molds are, all set. They're just using different material. Is it because it's ebonite that it should be so much more expensive? Frankly, I think it's there's no point to that pen. There really isn't. So there you have it. That's my point of view. Sorry if that's a turnoff for a lot of you, but it certainly was for me. I mean, Asvine was the pen of the year for me last year. Okay, so it's not because I have any, negative prejudice against Asvine. Quite the contrary. I think they're the most, or the best right now, Chinese pen maker. They've adapted and their offerings also to the North American or the Western market, so they can, kind of offer to both. They've been doing some great stuff, but to rehash the J16, I don't think so. So at the end of the day, I might be one of the few. So it's a good pen. It's well built. It writes very nicely. It's not an ugly pen. It's got all the nice things. I just feel that it's a déjà vu, and if I have to choose between this pen and other pens, including the J16 titanium, it's cheaper, I would go with the titanium. There you have it. So that's it. Thank you very, very much for watching. Please subscribe and comment. Send me your comments. Am I exaggerating? I would be very much pleased if you let me know whether or not I'm wrong here. And I won't take it personally. Maybe it's just me. And you know what? 2 weeks from now, I might adore that pen. But right now, I feel like I just got stiffed for $120. Not only that, twice, because I wanted to get it earlier, but that's not their fault. That's my fault. Will the green one be any nicer? Perhaps. Watch my recaps. When I get it, we'll revisit that one as well. Take care, folks. Enjoy your pens, enjoy your inks, enjoy your paper, and be well.